Morning, everybody. The memes. Look at the memes. The memes tell a huge story. And I mean, the story's being told in all sorts of other things. If you're a sitting Liberal Prime Minister and you can't fill a gymnasium in downtown Toronto, you are not getting reelected. You're not. Period. It's just not happening. Sorry about your luck. Nice try at a first term, Mr. Trudeau. But yeah, you're not getting reelected. Here's what is being put out. House of Turds, right? With the Parliament building. And we've got Justin Trudeau in front of a Liberal dumpster fire saying jobs and climate change and jobs. Let's change the channel from that SNC corruption. I've been seeing lots of Mr. Harper as well. Look at that smug mug. And the meme says, "You punted me out in favor of Trudeau. Miss me yet?" I've seen this. I've had this shared and shown to me in person, like phones brought up and turned and like, see, he's not that bad compared to Mr. Trudeau. You're right. You're not wrong. Here's Mr. Trudeau saying the budgets balance themselves and Mr. Harper saying, nope. The drama teacher doesn't quite get it. And the internet in Canada agrees, and so do the pundits. So do all of the cartoonists. Here's a cartoon saying Trudeau promises to do politics differently. Promise kept. And you see all sorts of newspapers saying Liberals undermine the rule of law. Veiled threats. Trudeau wanted prosecution. Deferred prosecution, and SNC scandal, two-tiered justice. Yeah, all of those things are true. And, well, yesterday I reported that Miss Jane Philpott, Dr. Jane Philpott, resigned her post, and I didn't get to actually looking at her tweet. Well, so here's her tweet. It says, quote, "It grieves me to resign from a portfolio where I work to deliver an important mandate. I must abide by my core values, my ethical responsibilities, constitutional obligations. There can be a cost to acting on one's principles, but there is bigger cost to abandoning them." And here is her letter, and I will read it. It says, "Dear Prime Minister, it is an enormous privilege to be the Member of Parliament for Markham Stouffville, and to have served as Minister of Health, the Minister of Indigenous Services, then President of the Treasury Board, and Minister of Digital Government. It has been an honor to play a leading role in progress that has shaped our country, bringing Syrian refugees to Canada, legislating a balanced approach to medical assistance in dying, negotiating a health accord with new resources for mental health and home care, improving infrastructure for First Nations to provide clean water on reserves, and reforming child welfare to reduce the over-apprehension of Indigenous children. However, I have been considering that events that have shaken the federal government in recent weeks, and after serious reflection, I've concluded that I must resign as a member of Cabinet. In Canada, the Constitutional Convention of Cabinet Solidarity means, among other things, that ministers are expected to defend all cabinet decisions. A minister must always be prepared to defend other ministers publicly and must speak in support of the government and its policies. Given this convention and the current circumstances, it is untenable for me to continue to serve as a cabinet minister. Unfortunately, the evidence of efforts by politicians and/or officials to pressure the former Attorney General to intervene in the criminal case involving SNC Lavalin and the evidence as to the content of those efforts have raised serious concerns for me. Those concerns have been augmented by views expressed by my constituents and other Canadians. The solemn principles at stake are the independence and integrity of our justice system. It is a fundamental doctrine of the rule of law that our Attorney General should not be subject to political pressure or interference regarding the exercise of her prosecutorial discretion in criminal cases. Sadly, I have lost confidence in how the government has dealt with this matter and in how it has responded to the issues raised. It grieves me to leave a portfolio where I was at work to deliver on an important mandate, but I must abide by my core values, my ethical responsibilities, my constitutional obligations. There can be a cost to acting on one's principles, but there is a bigger cost to abandoning them. Although I must regretfully resign from Cabinet, I will continue to serve Canadians in every other way that I can. I was elected as a Liberal Member of Parliament for Markham Stouffville, and I intend to continue in that role. I am firmly committed to our crucial platform priorities, especially justice for Indigenous peoples and implementing a plan to tackle the existential threat of climate change. Canadians need the assurance that in all matters, members of Parliament will act in the best interests of the public. My decision has been made with that spirit and intent. So, Miss Philpott, Dr. Philpott, has left Cabinet, and Miss Wilson-Raybould has responded to my dear friend at... Oh, sorry, that was the wrong one. My bad. To the incomparable at Jane Philpott. Truly, the hashtag MOC. For almost 4 years, our country has witnessed your constant and unassailable commitment to always doing what is right and best for Canadians. You are a leader of vision and strength, and I look forward to continuing to work alongside you. Big heart, you. Okay, and look at that liberal red. Every single thing, including her profile picture, is pointing me to think that she is forming the ranks behind her, and she will swoop in and take over the Liberal Party, because Trudeau is still trying to get out in front of this, and he doesn't realize the bus has already run over everybody else, and they're lining up to support they're getting off the train, they're not running for re-election, or they're lining up to support Jody Wilson-Raybould. I think he's probably got Ahmed Hassan and Miss Freeland, and everybody else is lining up behind her. Maybe he's got Seamus. He might have Seamus too. Here's Jody Wilson-Raybould as well, responding to MP Celina, who has stepped down. She will not run for re-election. I'm not going to read her note. She's racist. So anyway, Jody Wilson-Raybould says, to my dear friend MP Celina, Tim and I have read your words with sadness, but respecting your decision. You are extraordinary. You are an extraordinary individual, a crusader for equality, justice, and inclusion. I know your drive will not change in whatever adventure you next choose. With deep respect, C3. And I wanted to show you this. This is Mr. Scheer, leader of the opposition, and the reporter asks him, what exactly are you asking Justin Trudeau to do? And I'll let Mr. Scheer answer that question.
Calling on him to do.
Well, I've already called on him to do the right thing and resign. I believe he's lost the moral authority to govern, and as more and more information comes out, it seems clear that he looked 35 million Canadians in the eye and told them something that simply wasn't true. He claimed that Ms. Wilson-Raybould never came to him with her concerns. We now know that she did. He claimed that he never put pressure on the former Attorney General. We now know that he did. His own senior advisors have admitted that. We believe that we need an independent investigation into these allegations. I've called for an RCMP investigation to start. We've also supported a motion to call a public inquiry, and we've demanded that Justin Trudeau recall Parliament so that he can face the nation on these serious questions. He is running away from the House of Commons, running away from accountability on this, and he should do the right thing, recall Parliament so that Canadians can see what his answers to these very serious allegations are.
If he doesn't resign, should there be a snap election?
We have fixed election laws on the books, and I don't believe those should be manipulated just for political purposes. Justin Trudeau already stands accused of using political motivations to undermine and to break a law. This is not something that we're calling for. We'd rather have him answer the very serious questions that are being posed to him. We'd like to see an investigation commence, and we'd like to see some answers to these allegations. Right now, all he has done is say that he disagrees with the interpretation of events, but he has yet to refute any of the very specific allegations that have been launched at him.
Okay, and I'm going to leave it there. The link will be in the description if you want to watch the whole Q&A. It's interesting to watch. It was from yesterday, March 4th. So keep that in mind. He's asking Justin Trudeau to step down. In my opinion, he's doing the job of the opposition leader. The opposition leader's job is to benefit Canada, not necessarily their political party. Okay, so if you're looking at this from a political party standpoint, if you're politicking on this, you don't interrupt your enemy when they're actually self-destructing. When they're in the midst of destroying themselves, you don't interrupt them. You let them finish, right? What could happen here is all this pressure, all this added pressure could have the Liberal leader replaced. And having the Liberal leader replaced, I've talked about it before. She wants it. And I don't think there's necessarily anything Mr. Scheer is going to do that's going to change the course of what's happening now. Miss Wilson-Raybould is driving this bus, and it is coming for Justin Trudeau. Absolutely 100%. They can try and malign her. They can try and do a whole bunch of other stuff, but this is one domino falling, and the rest are coming. And yeah, Trudeau's in trouble. So on one side, Scheer's doing the job of the opposition, saying this is beyond the pale. We have a prime minister who's broken the law, and he needs to be accountable. We need to recall the House. We need to recall. He needs to face Canadians on this, and by facing the opposition, he's facing Canadians and his own caucus as well. His caucus is revolting. There's no doubt about that. We've got public tweets from Wayne Long and others saying, "I don't like how this SNC thing is going." We've got cabinet members resigning their cabinet posts but staying Liberal, and then having pictures with Jody Wilson-Raybould. This is lining up saying, I support Jody Wilson-Raybould. Get behind the new prime minister. We're going to have a Kim Campbell situation, in my opinion. And there's no stopping that. So I'm going to show you this. This is Maxime Bernier tweeting. He says, quote, Scheer is such an amateur. Why is he calling for JT resignation and praising his awful leftist ministers who are leaving? Opposing obstruction of justice doesn't make you a hero. Best way to get rid of Liberal government is to let it self-destruct under JT, not have JWR take over. Okay, so he's looking at this from the other point of view, the let your enemy self-destruct, don't interrupt them, and no need to really toss firewood on the fire. They're going to do what they're going to do without you jumping in. And really, honestly, mixed bag. Like, I think that I'm glad that Maxime Bernier is taking a position on it, but I don't necessarily agree with this position. And especially because Mr. Scheer is the leader of the opposition. His job is to try and hold the government to account. And you can't have a prime minister who's breaking the law and have an opposition leader who's silent on that. My goodness, I would be screaming bloody murder if that was happening. That's ridiculous, and not even in the realm of realistic, in my opinion, to have Scheer stay silent on this. So, Mr. Bernier, we disagree, but we're allowed to disagree. This isn't democracy after all. This is the first one. I'm sure there will be more. Actually, second one. There are other things we disagree on, but they're minor so far. All right. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. That's what's going on right now. And man, I can't wait for this afternoon. I hear Jerry Butts. Oh, wait, that's tomorrow. Gerald Butts is having testimony tomorrow. And well, that'll be fun to watch too. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Check out the People's Party of Canada.ca.